Huge story out of the NBA. Huge rumor. Boston Celtics are reportedly, shout out to Danny Ainge and company, they have more picks and prospects than any team in the NBA. A lot of people, including myself, believe it's time to cash in on some of these prospects and draft picks and start to transform these into players, proven talents, proven commodities, guys that can be an asset to your team, stars, superstars. I felt like the Boston Celtics dropped the ball on Jimmy Butler. If Chicago got Chris Dunn and Zach LaVine for Jimmy Butler, I believe the Celtics could have easily gave up, the Brooklyn pick for next year and Jason Tatum, and that could have been a better trade for Chicago. I've been told that Boston wasn't a fan of Jimmy Butler. Kristaps Porzingis was reportedly available by the Knicks before the NBA draft. I've been told what would have got the deal done was Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Jay Crowder. That would have pretty much got the deal done. Boston reportedly didn't want to pull the trigger for Kristaps Porzingis. I'm like, Boston, what do y'all want? I think Porzingis is a superstar. Jimmy Butler is a borderline superstar, definitely a star. What are we doing here? Porzingis will be a superstar in the future, by the way. Superstar talent. Could be better than Dirk Nowitzki. Already better than Andreas Bargnani. Only a couple years in. What are the Boston Celtics doing? Might you ask the question? They're still not good enough to beat Cleveland. Even with adding Jason Tatum at the number 3 pick. You traded out of the number 1 pick. You wasn't sold on Markelle Fultz. You didn't believe Lonzo Ball would fit with Isaiah Thomas. What are the Boston Celtics doing? Well, reportedly there is a plan. The new rumor is Danny Ainge is looking to pull the trigger for Paul George. But there's a huge but to this. Only if the Boston Celtics are able to acquire Gordon Hayward in free agency. Gordon Hayward is the biggest, I believe, free agent that we believe is a lock to switch teams. I don't believe he's going back to Utah with Rudy Gobert and company. Utah didn't do enough in the draft, and I believe there's going to be a tough challenge for the Jazz to convince free agents to come to Utah. That's never been the case. They usually get in-house talents to come. Gordon's probably leaving Utah to go to Miami or Boston. His former coach is Brad Stevens in Boston. I've been told it's likely that the Boston Celtics land Gordon Hayward. Once the Celtics land Gordon Hayward, because for salary cap purposes, they will have to get Gordon first before they could potentially get Paul George as well and be able to sign Gordon. So they got to go get Gordon first in free agency. I've been told once they go get Gordon, they're going after Paul George and going all in for this thing to compete for a championship or at least get to the finals next year. Not a moment sooner. If they don't get Gordon Hayward, I've been told that they're not going to go get Paul George. Just Danny Ainge's way of thinking. When he goes in, he goes big. He's been holding on to all these prospects, picks. And if they get Gordon Hayward, he's about to cash in. Create a big 3 similar to how he did it with Paul Pierce, KG, and Ray Allen. Snap of the finger. He got all 3 of those guys. Paul Pierce was already there. But he got Ray Allen and KG to come to Boston. So where we at with it right now? If the Celtics can land Gordon Hayward reportedly in free agency. Remember, free agency starts Saturday, July 1st. TALIAFERRO will be keeping you covered the entire week from July 1 to July 8. I'm going to have non-stop coverage on every signing. Right here and another channel as well. Follow my Basketball Pharaohs YouTube as well. The Boston Celtics are going after Paul George, reportedly for Jason Tatum, who they just drafted, Jaylen Brown, Jay Crowder, hell, whatever pretty much the Pacers would want, not naming Isaiah Thomas. It looks like the Boston Celtics will then pull the trigger and go after Paul George. Remember, the Celtics have the most to give the Pacers, and they're trying to call the Pacers bluff. They know they got to look. The Pacers got to trade Paul George at some point. They cannot bring Paul George back to this team and try to trade him at the deadline in February. Usually you can. That's usually a good thing. But with Paul George not having but that last year on his deal, and he's already told the league that he wants to go to the Lakers, teams are really going to be reluctant. You're already reluctant to rent a guy, but the championship contenders usually will rent a guy at the trade deadline if they feel as though they're one piece away. But to know that this guy's going to leave you after the season regardless and go to the Lakers? I don't think teams are going to make that push. Unless they know they got one window to win a championship. Maybe Cleveland will do it at the deadline. Not many teams are going to be willing to do that. So the Pacers have to trade Paul George now. Celtics know that. Lakers at best got Jordan Clarkson and Julius Randle. They already traded their best tradable asset in D'Angelo Russell. They're not going to trade Brandon Ingram or Lonzo Ball. Pacers reportedly don't want Kevin Love. They don't want him. Too much baggage, injuries, and when I mean baggage, too much miles on those, on just miles on that body. They don't want him. Pacers know they're running out of options. Pacers, I told you today earlier, they're trying to get the Denver Nuggets and Cleveland Cavaliers to agree to a 3-team trade. That one's up in the air right now. Pacers running out of options for Paul George. They know they're going to leave the team after the season. He tried to help y'all out. He said he wanted to go to the Lakers. Pacers got to make a move. Boston has exactly what they want in a rebuild mode. And now we just wait and see. Again, the Boston Celtics will reportedly not make a move for Paul George until they land Gordon Hayward in free agency, which they do expect to do July 1st. We will see what's up. Thank you for the time, love, support. By the way, the top two potential landing spots for Gordon Hayward, we've been told, are Boston #1 and Miami #2. And Boston has the edge. Miami probably will have the edge with any other player, but Gordon is looking to win. And he obviously understands that Boston is in a better position to win. They already got to the conference finals last year. #1 seed in the Eastern Conference. Probably look to be 1 or 2 pieces away to complete with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Boston's atop Gordon Hayward list. So as soon as he signs to the Celtics, if that does happen, they're going after Paul George. Talk to me in the comment box below. If the Celtics were able to land Paul George and their big three was Isaiah Thomas, Gordon Hayward, and Paul George, can they now compete with the Cleveland Cavaliers in the Eastern Conference Finals? I'm not going to even get to the Golden State Warriors question because they're still head and shoulders not better than the Warriors. But can they at least get out of the East? Talk to me in the comment box below. Subscribe to my channel. Thank y'all so much for the time, love, support. I don't take it for granted, not a bit of it. I'm out. If you're looking to book me for an interview video or by phone, if you're looking to have your music or your skill featured on my daily podcast, if you're looking to book me for a speaking engagement to help motivate some kids, if you're looking to have me rock some of your clothing to help promote your brand, make sure you hit me up at booking@itsmrtaliaferro.com. Again, that's booking@itsmrtaliaferro.com.